utilizing somebody else's rules of engagement. I think you could do that.
You know who I think the bigger problem is not the OnlyFans women. I think it's Brian and the Whatever podcast. They're a bigger problem than the women going on.
How?
Because they're promoting them on a stage they've never been at before. So I'm just going to keep this as much to the point and concise as I can. So yeah, I do have an issue with these Red Pill podcasts. I have an issue with Red Pill in general. I'm a Christian first before anything. So my opening statement is really the Red Pill podcasts, such as the Whatever podcast, which is the one in question today, are exploitative and destructive in nature. They advertise porn stars and promiscuous women as the thumbnails to every upload and plug their social media accounts in the bio of every video. The women don't go on the show to debate. They go on there for attention and clout. The show is masqueraded as a debate, but in reality, it's an OnlyFans ad agency. I'll concede that, yeah, there's some utility in going on these shows to combat these feminist ideologies. However, that utility is immediately lost when you advertise the very thing that you claim to be against. The equivalent would be as though a podcast that claimed to be anti-drugs brought drug dealers onto the show, put the picture of the product, the drug, as the thumbnail to every episode, and plug the drug dealer's address in the bio of every video so all the people watching know where to go and buy the product. My argument is we should combat the modernity of feminist ideologies without advertising their product, which in this case is their body. Young men should instead turn to Christ and stay away from engaging with Red Pill podcasts and Red Pill ideologies. The real solution and simple call to action is for men as a collective to turn away from porn, cease engaging with thirst trap content online, cease engaging in hookup culture, turn to God, and date with the intention of marriage. And this is not a surprise from the Christian worldview, which I believe that we share. The Red Pill podcasts in this business for the same reason for the women that they bring on: attention and money. As a Christian, the only reason we should go on the show is to hold the Red Pill hosts accountable for the degeneracy that they are engaging in by profiting off of being an OF ad agency by exploiting the pain of their male audience. Red Pill podcasts have taken a number of traditional biblical principles and twisted them for their selfish desire to guide men into a life of worshiping money and sex.
One, his first argument seemed to be to point to the fact that going on Whatever was problematic, as everything that has needed to be said has been said. Whatever that means, I don't know what that means. I find this argument amusing, though, as if you can't go to this guy's Instagram like he's saying something that's super new that other larger content creators than himself have already said they have. So I'll assume he's just confused about that argument too. His second argument points out that girls engaged in sex work can and do gain some of the Whatever audience to then subscribe to their sex channels. I don't dispute that this is true. I just don't particularly care. The types of men who are watching Whatever and would subscribe to OnlyFans prostitution were likely already subscribed to OnlyFans prostitution. It seems reasonable to me that if invited on to provide pushback to their various claims, that is more effective than pretending that Whatever is cranking out simps. Brian seems to mostly be against the modernity of dating and prostitution, though he doesn't have as hard a line of a stance as I do, but he allows pushback for everybody, including the guests which are on his show. His third argument makes no sense to me at all. My opponent seems to think that ignoring this problem makes it go away, but it doesn't make it go away. Pushback and resistance make it go away. I think it's important we be present in all places the degens are to take on their worldviews. His final argument is that I need to attack or go after Brian. Though that doesn't make any sense either. Why would I destroy my opportunity to engage on the platform where I can reach hundreds of thousands of people with a better message? Not to mention, Brian brings up valid and interesting arguments, which I often agree with. We may not align 100%, but we don't need to, as reaching the audience is my objective, not reaching Brian. He starts his claims as well by saying he's against feminist ideology, but I did go and review a debate that he had with Destiny where he claimed that feminism is an antidote to what he considers toxic patriarchy. I'm not sure that that's in line with any Christian worldview that I'm aware of, but I'm happy to take that topic on as well. Lastly, the only reason to go on the show is to go after the host he claims. That seems stupid to me. I think it would be far better to utilize the platform of the host in order to move a message to hundreds of thousands of people who you would not normally have access to. That's a far wiser strategy for spreading the message. And I'm assuming that we agree on a lot of this message, and so what we have is a differing of tactics. However, it's insane to me that he also wanted to go on the Whatever podcast himself, which is odd, I would assume, because he wants hundreds of thousands of people to hear his message as well. So, be that there's a mixture.
He claims to be Christian.
Well, he doesn't really. He claims that he's not a practicing Christian.
Well, he's claimed to. Well, then he does flip-flop a lot, but he has openly admitted that he said that he's Christian. But regardless, he's very clearly advertising them. They come on to be advertised. They wouldn't go on if
I go on to be advertised. What's your point?
Yeah, we all do things for attention. What type of attention are you looking for?
Yeah,
when you
I'm
go
looking
on? What type of attention are they looking for?
I understand that they're looking for the same kind of counter attention to what I'm looking for. I want to draw attention to my message, and they're trying to draw attention to their OnlyFans. It would actually be a far harder pitch for him to sell that he's only going to link the people in the bio who he agrees with. I don't agree with you, and I'm still going to link you in the bio. Is that okay?
But the problem is his whole show is against their promiscuous ideology, and he's advertising it. Figuratively speaking,
he's also advertising my ideology.
But you're not porn starring yourself.
Yeah, so what you're really saying is that it's okay for him to do the thing that you agree with ideologically, not okay for him to do the thing that you don't agree with ideologically. Ideologically, it's okay for him to promote me. It's just not okay for him to promote the other side. In the spirit of fairness, you would, if you have a contentious channel like this where people are in consistent arguments and you have polarizing personalities, it seems completely reasonable to me that the people who go on in order to do that show would want whatever it is that they want advertised. While I agree it's disgusting, right, I think that engaging with their ideology is still extremely important.
But that's the whole point, is engaging with their ideology. So he is promoting them by allowing them on the platform to debate, but they don't go on there to debate.
He would be promoting
they
you.
only go on to advertise their social media.
No, they do go on to debate, and I've had many engagements and debates with them.
At the end of the day, they don't care if they win or lose. They care to promote and advertise their sexual content.
It could be possible that their alternative motivation is that they don't give a shit how they do inside of these different debates. I can even concede that that's true, and it just doesn't hurt my position because it still exposes this rotten ideology, and I get hundreds upon hundreds of DMs from the Whatever audience themselves, personally from them. I saw you on Whatever. You've completely brought me out of this darkness, or I saw you on Whatever. Thank you so much for having any kind of ideological pushback to this. Even if Brian himself was guilty of doing all the things that you claim he's guilty of doing, you would still want to have a person like me there to ideologically push back against their worldview.
And what are you saying any different than every other person that's gone on to contend them?
What are you saying any different than everything else which is on your Instagram than other creators who have said the exact same fucking thing?
Do I plug their social media? Do I plug their social media?
Yeah, but the argument is still the same. You're claiming here, this is argument 2 that you made. What are you saying any different than other people who've been on there? Well, clearly I must be saying a lot that's different because it's the first time many people have ever heard the message at all. And the DMs would seem to prove that that's true. 2, there's also a delivery system. And a delivery system is important. And perhaps my delivery system is so polarizing that it draws attention to the message. So just because I may say things that other people have said before me on that broadcast, it doesn't mean that they resonate with people.
All right. So you do debate red pill guys on your own platform, do you not?
And on Whatever, correct.
But you do hold those guys accountable on your own platform.
Yeah, I engage with their ideology on this platform. That's correct.
So
and I also put I also put their links in the description. Am I doing something wrong?
but they're not promoting sexually
no, they
explicit
are.
content.
Oh, yes, they are. Listen, it's not necessarily when you're talking about an enemy-ally distinction. While it's true that I have some agreements with Brian, I also have many disagreements with Brian. When he's talking about descriptors, he's correct. Same with Rollo Tomasi. When they're talking about descriptors, they're mostly correct. When they're talking about prescriptions, I mostly disagree with them, and we end up having these fights. I believe, based on the content that I just viewed from you today, when you reached out, that you have the exact same mentality, that you agree with most of these red pill descriptors as well. So then you wouldn't be going into enemy territory either, I guess.
The red pill is definitely the enemy, 100%. I don't know what...
Based on descriptors or prescriptors? Like, for instance, let me give you a descriptor. Women like tall men, on average.
Okay, sure.
Do you agree or disagree?
Women usually like taller men.
Yeah,
okay.
With absent a patriarchal authority, women will often revert to hypergamy.
Without a patriarchal authority, women will often... No, without a Christian authority, women will do that.
That would be a patriarchal authority, by the way. And no, in Muslim nations, they have a patriarchal authority, and women are not reverting to hypergamy, sir.
Yeah, well, it comes down to how you define patriarchy, because
men are in charge. That's how I would define patriarchy.
In the home, men are in charge in the home if they submit themselves to God. That's it. That's the only way.
Okay, but that's not... I just gave you the definition of patriarchy. I said men are in charge. That's what it means. And absent that, women will often revert to hypergamy. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't agree on their definition of patriarchy, though. No.
Okay, well, what's the definition of patriarchy then?
A system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is the head of the family or descent is traced through the family sip, or a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded.
Also, men are in charge, so you agree with me then?
Women are not excluded from power, though.
They can be. That would be at the whims of the patriarchy.
That's not Christianity.
I didn't say anything about Christianity. I just said the word patriarchy.
You said
you're adding Christian to patriarchy. Yet your definition. Can you show me in your definition where it says the word Christian, sir?
You said patriarchy is Christian. You said Christian is a patriarchal system.
Yes, Christianity is a patriarchal system, but that does not mean that patriarchy means Christianity, sir.
It depends on how you define it.
Well, that's why we just went through the definitions. And can you show me in the definition where it says Christianity? Anywhere.
Claiming that it's Christianity's patriarchal. You claim that.
Yes, Christianity is patriarchal, but that doesn't mean that all patriarchies are Christian.
Well, then show me where in patriarchy it says Christian, since you're saying that it's a Christian system.
No. I said the opposite. I said that, yes, it's true that Christianity is a patriarchal system, but that does not mean that all patriarchal systems are Christian.
All right. Am
I wrong?
Is Christianity a patriarchal system? I do not agree with that per the definition of patriarchy. No.
Why don't you agree with that?
You don't agree that
what? Wait, hang on. What? You don't believe it's a patriarchal system?
No.
Okay. Is God both gendered?
What does that have to do with...
Well, I'm just wondering. Who's in charge of Christianity? Is it Jesus Christ?
Christianity is a relationship with Christ. I don't know what you mean.
So who's in charge of Christianity? Who's in charge? Is it a man or a woman?
The father. So yes, it's a male.
It's a male. And
you don't have, if you want to take my social media link out of the bio too, I don't care.
Okay.
I'm here to stand against their ideology.
Well, let me help you out with one last thing, which I've been saving for you, right? Kind of the coup de grace. Brian does not add any of their OnlyFans in their bios, only their Instagrams. This entire time, you've been arguing about something with 5 minutes of research. You could have learned that he does not link to any of the pornography sites at all, you idiot.
Why are you insulting me?
Because, well, no, that's not a personal insult.
You called me an idiot.
No, an idiot is not a personal insult if the person is being a fucking idiot. In this case, that was really stupid, man. In 5 minutes, hang on, in 5 minutes, you could have made this determination. He never links to any of their OnlyFans, and he never links to any of this stuff. And yet you've made a fool out of yourself for the last 45 minutes, making these bold claims. I was able to debunk them even if it were true. And then, okay, then prove it.
By plugging their Instagram accounts, where's their link? Where do you find
now it's not.
Links?
So now,
where do you find?
So let me get this right.
In the bio of Instagram.
So let me get this right. Now we're going to change the goalposts. And if you move towards Instagram, where there could be some links in the Instagram, then this would include all leftists who give any links at all whatsoever to any women's Instagrams whatsoever, which lead back to OnlyFans whatsoever. And you are willing to debate. Nope, it's the same process.
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.